Hey everyone, welcome to Insight Tuesday. Everyone's doing great. Welcome. We are going to start in, I'm going to say 30 seconds. I'm going to give some people some time to come in. I know someone wrote me and said, hey, you started and I missed half of it. And so sorry. So I'm going to give them some time to come in here. Let people join the room. Welcome to Insight Tuesday. If you have never been here before, this is a time for us to go over something that is related to the RHIA. This is not a full RHIA review. This is just a little nugget that hopefully you will learn something. That's my purpose of doing this every single Tuesday. Okay. And I'm actually going to go ahead and share my screen. And for today's Insight Tuesday, we're going to be talking about a topic that came up or was requested rather last week in our other Insight Tuesday. And that was the topic, and let me show you guys, between a bar graph and a histogram. It sounds simple, but there are a lot of questions that can be asked around this topic, and you want to make sure that you have a good understanding of the differences. So we're going to cover that today. We're going to keep to the, quick time that I set prior. So this won't be long at all. And let's just go ahead and jump in here. Before I start, just kind of reading the room here, how many people here are taking their exam within the next month? So in 30 days or less. If you are, can you let me know in the chat? I'm just wondering who's actually taking their exam fairly soon? Anybody? Nobody? Okay. Nobody. Okay. All right. Just checking. Okay. Let's go ahead and start. Oh, September. Okay. September, it's June, July, August, September. Okay. So you have some time. Okay. Perfect. Okay. I'm not sure about everyone else, but hopefully this will help you. Okay. So let's continue here. Let's first talk about, first, before I do all this, where can you find this information? Which domain would you be tested on this concept? If you're taking the RHIA, this is going to be found in domain 3, is where you're going to have to use this knowledge. If you're taking the RHIT, I'm not sure if anyone here is taking the RIT, but that's also, believe it or not, going to be in domain 3, if I'm not mistaken. So the same domain number. Okay, so does anyone know what we hopefully all know what a bar graph is, but does anyone, before I say it, know the difference between a bar graph and a histogram? Anyone want to take a stab at it? You can put it in the chat what you believe from your understanding the difference is between the two. And I'll just give you guys some time to type out what you think the difference is between the two. Bar graph versus histogram. Anybody? Anybody want to take a guess? Not sure? Okay. Well, I will educate you guys on that today. So first off, let's talk about what a bar graph is. A bar graph is a pictorial representation of data using bars of different heights. And I put in parentheses, discrete data. Okay, this word discrete versus continuous is something that you're going to want to understand for your RHIA. I'm not going to cover that today, but if you don't know the difference between discrete data and continuous data, please write that down and make sure that you understand that, because that's important to answer these type of questions as well. But I'm just going to cover bar versus histogram. Okay. All right. So like I said, it's simply bars and they show discrete data. Okay. So that's what a bar graph is. Now, what is a histogram? A histogram also has bars, right? The difference is that it's going to be used to display the frequency distributions of measurements, and it is actually a special type of bar graph. So it is a bar graph, but it's just more unique. It has some more added layers to it, and it contains continuous data. Once again, if you don't know the difference between discrete and continuous data, then that's something that you want to look up and understand, because that's important for a lot of the questions that you'll see on the RHIA. They will ask you or mention those key terms, okay? So continuous data, and it displays frequencies. So what is the difference, right? So let's go, here are the differences. One of the differences is that in a bar graph, you are going to see gaps in between the individual bars. And this screenshot shows that here. USA, India, UK, there are spaces in between all of these different bars. When you look at this histogram, you'll see that there are no gaps in between them. That's a unique trait of a histogram. So if for some reason you're on your exam on that day, you see this image and the bars are stuck together, I want you guys to just think histogram, okay? Also, another unique thing about these two, or the differences between these two, is the histogram is going to have frequency on its y-axis. So these numbers here are going to represent frequencies. That's something that is unique to histograms versus the bar graph, where it's just going to be numbers. So if you are looking at a graph and they have frequencies here on that y-axis, it is safe to say that you are looking at a histogram. And you're going to know that because it's going to be stuck together. So that's going to be another hint for you to know that, okay? Third thing or difference is looking at the x-axis. When you're dealing with the bar graph, it's going to be categories that are listed at the bottom. So in my course, I always talk about apples and oranges, just for my example for my course. But in this example, the category is USA, India, UK, etc. So it's going to be some type of category versus for a histogram, it's going to be some type of number range, 100, 150, 200. It can represent loads of things, but it's going to be numbers. It's not going to be categories. Okay. And let me go back. I want to show you guys some examples. So if you look here at this bar graph, you notice that it's a category. It's showing cities, or the bar graph is showing the lowest cost healthcare markets in the United States. And they're showing the results based on the locations, right? So this is a bar graph. There's space in between. These are not frequencies, right? These are more so percentages. If we look at the histogram, you'll notice that the y-axis has a frequency on here. And when we look at that x-axis, we're going to see that the number here is BMI. So it's going to be some type of number range where they are now showcasing some type of information. And this is talking about BMI. That's the topic of this particular histogram. All right. So hopefully you guys can understand the differences between them. If you did not catch the differences between them, let me rephrase them for you. One, gaps are found in between bar graphs. You'll see physical gaps. Frequencies are going to be found in histograms on the y-axis. It will not be found in bar graphs. It's going to be a number, not frequency, right, for that unit. Categories are going to be what you see for bar graphs versus a number range. Those are the main differences between these two graphs. So don't get that mixed up. And once again, like I mentioned, key that you will see on your RHIA in some form, you want to know the difference between continuous data versus discrete data. So discrete data is going to be shown in bar graphs. Discrete data will be shown in bar graphs versus continuous data that would be shown in histograms. If you don't know what that means, write it down, look it up. For those that are in my course, you already know what that means because it's in the course. But if you're not in my course and you don't know what those terms are, then make sure that you figure that out because that's also important as you're answering these questions. So does anyone have any questions for me before we jump into some practice questions based on this concept? Any questions at all? Okay, I'm going to take silence as no. So I am going to go ahead and go through some questions with you guys and you show what we covered. If you get them wrong, then that means that you want to look into these concepts some more. So here's the first question. A healthcare facility wants to display the distribution of patient ages using a histogram. The ages are grouped into intervals of 10 years, 0 through 9, 10 through 19, 20 through 29, etc. Which of the following statements is true about a histogram? A, the bars are separated by gaps to emphasize the different age intervals. B, the bars are connected because the data represents continuous intervals. C, the height of each bar represents the cumulative frequency of the age groups. Or D, the width of each bar can vary depending on the number of patients in each age group. So I'm going to give you guys a minute to look over this and let me know in the chat what you think the answer is based on our quick lecture a second ago. Let me know what you think the answer is. You just drop it into the chat. And we're here to learn, so take your time. Keyword here, histogram. Okay, I got one answer. Anyone else? There are more people in here. Okay, everyone is saying B. Okay, let's check the answer here. So the answer here is B. You guys got that correct. So the bars are connected because the data represents, keyword here, continuous intervals. If it said discrete, then that would have not been the right answer. So that's important to understand. Okay, let's go to the next question. A bar graph is used to show the number of patient admissions by department, and there's different departments. Which characteristic distinguishes a bar graph from a histogram? And I'll let you guys read the answer and let me know in the chat what you think the answer is. And this should be a quick response based on our lecture. And I'm looking at the chat, waiting to see what you guys think. Okay, I got one answer. Any other attempts? Okay, I am going to go ahead and show the answer. The answer was C. So yes, that person, you are correct. The bars in a graph represent categorical data, while the bar graphs in a histogram represent continuous data. Now, so that is all I have for today. Like I said, these are quick reviews. It's not the full course, but I'll be doing this every single week. If you want more questions, I do have a weekly RHIA series, so feel free to follow me on Medium for that. And yeah, that is pretty much all I have for today. Any questions or any topics that you guys would like to see in the next Insight Tuesday, because it's every Tuesday. Any topics that you would like for me to cover, you can throw it into the chat and let me know. Any topics? And I'll give you guys a few minutes to let me know. Okay, legal. Okay. What about legal? That's a big legal is a lot. So what do you mean by legal? All right. Disclosure versus use. Okay. 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 All right. And I am taking a note of that. All right. Thank you guys for your feedback and for your time. We're going to, I see one question about adoption and who decides which parent makes medical decisions. Yeah. So about, understand. Okay. About making decisions, that whole idea, the rules behind that. Okay. All right. Taking my notes. Okay. Anything else that you guys would like to see topics on Insight Tuesday? I do see legal stuff, who has permission to sign and things like that, disclosure versus use. Any other topics before we close? No? Going once? Making sure. Going twice? Okay. I will take silence as no, that's it. Okay. If there are any more questions, that is it. It's just a little snippet. Oh, someone said domain 5. Okay, so just project management. What about project management? That's a wide topic. So what about project management? Caught up. Oh, the FTE calculations. Okay. Okay. How to calculate productivity. Okay, understand. Okay. Thank you for that feedback. All right, and I'm writing these down. I have it documented. Okay. Thank you guys for your suggestions and what you like to see. Thank you for joining me on Tuesday evening, which may not be the best day. But thank you guys. Other calculations as well regarding management and productivity. Okay, got it. Okay, that is noted. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining once again. I will shut it down because this is a quick little snippet every week. So I will see you guys next time for Insight Tuesday. Feel free to contact us at RHIAessential@gmail.com if you have any other comments or questions for us in the meantime, and have a good evening. Bye, everyone. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.